Welcome, everyone. I'd like to call to order our regular City Council meeting for Tuesday, May 15th, 2018. Before we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to just take a moment of silence for Peace Officer Memorial. Thank you, everyone. Now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, welcome, everyone. What a good-looking front row. Thank you, Troop. We'll call you out in a minute, I think. Roll call.
Mayor Mays.
Here.
Council President Garland.
Here.
Councilor Kuiper.
Here.
Councilor Young. Here. Councilor Browse. Here. Councilor Griffin.
Here.
Councilor Rosner.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. We have approval of the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda.
Second.
Battle for that second. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We have a long consent agenda this evening. 6 items. Approval of the May 1st, 2018 City Council meeting minutes. Resolution 2018-039, appointing Rebecca Melfin to the Library Advisory Board. Resolution 2018-40, appointing Mark Cottle to the Planning Commission. Resolution 2018-041, appointing Lori Holm to the Planning Commission. Resolution 2018-042, authorizing the city manager to sign a contract with Redflex to provide photo enforcement and related services. And Resolution 2018-043, authorizing the city manager to sign an IGA with Clackamas County for sharing data network resources. Any action on the proposed consent agenda?
I move consent. Second.
Discussion on the motion? All in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Council. Citizen comment. Now is an opportunity for anyone to address the City Council on an item not on the agenda that you want to bring up. And love to have guests introduce themselves. If there's a troop that would like to come up and say something, maybe. Troop leader. What troop do we have?
Troop 849.
Outstanding. Welcome, Troop 849. And are you working on? What are you doing here?
Nice job.
Might as well take the hot seat.
I'm going to drag you up here one way or the other.
We are working on our citizenship and the community merit badge, and I thought it was a great time to fill out my ballot as well. So we're here, and
Outstanding.
excited to be here.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Welcome. Appreciate you guys being here. And you're here at a shorter, what we anticipate is a shorter city council meeting. Sometimes it's just hard to put those words together. But you'll see your community in action a little bit. So I saw no one jump up wanting to address council. So one last ask. Anyone? Hearing none, we will move on to presentations. First item is Proclamation for Emergency Medical Services Week, May 20th to 26th. Is Kristen Bylandberry here?
She's not found stepping in order.
Wonderful. Well, welcome. And if you'd like to sit and I'll read something and then let you say something.
All right, that's good.
So whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of the emergency medical service teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas emergency medical service systems consist of emergency physicians, emergency nurses, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, firefighters, educators, administrators, and others. Whereas the members of the emergency medical services team, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. Whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical service providers by designated Emergency Medical Services Week. Now, therefore, I, Sherwood Mayor, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 20th to 26th as Emergency Medical Services Week. So welcome. Please introduce yourself again for...
My name is Kylie Rogers, and I'm an EMT with Metro West Ambulance. Metro West has been providing ambulance service in Oregon since 1953. I'm personally honored that you trusted Metro West to serve your community and look forward to our continued relationship. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today. EMS Week is May 20th through 26th. This proclamation before the City Council of Sherwood is important to many teams and EMS workers in the county. As provider of pre-hospital care, Metro West EMTs and paramedics are part of a team of professionals providing emergency health care to your citizens. We feel honored that your community has entrusted us with the emergency care of your residents and strive every day to continue to earn your trust. Because of your commitment and support of EMS, Washington County enjoys one of the finest emergency health systems in Oregon. Our EMS partners include fire, police, emergency room staff, and emergency room staff. Our goal is to meet the emergency needs of your community in a compassionate, timely, and professionally manner. On behalf of all EMS workers, thank you for your proclamation and your continued support of emergency medical workers. I'd also like to take the opportunity to invite each of you to our EMS celebration on Friday, May 25th from 3 p.m. until 7 p.m. at our Hillsborough office. Thank you again and have a great evening.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for your service. Next is another proclamation for National Public Works Week. Whereas public works services are important to the health, safety, and well-being of Sherwood citizens, and where these services can only be provided through dedicated public works professionals, including government and private sector employees who oversee water distribution, water treatment, sewer systems, equipment services, public properties, solid waste, and recycling services, city streets, and park maintenance. Whereas these employees are the city's silent heroes who guarantee that these essential services are always working. So true statement. The work, whereas the support and understanding of an informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems, whereas the year 2018 marks the 58th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Now therefore be resolved that we, Sherwood City Council, do hereby proclaim the May 20th, 26th as National Public Works Week in Sherwood and urge all citizens to recognize and thank public works employees for the dedicated service that they provide. And moving on, introduction of new city staff.
Mayor and Council, we have two new employees and a legal intern that we're going to introduce tonight. We do this normally when new staff joins us, usually within their first month or two. We try to have them come to a council meeting so you can have a face and a name and put them on the spot and ask them all kinds of good questions. So the two folks that I want to invite up first are at our Marjorie Stewart Center, so come on up and take a seat up front here. Kristen Schweitzer was going to introduce these folks tonight, but she had nothing on the agenda tonight, and I said, you can stay home, I can handle this. She actually got these guys prepared to talk a little bit about themselves, so they're going to talk a little bit about their backgrounds. But we have two new folks at the Marjorie Stewart Community Center. Maya Martin Burbank is our center manager. And then Dominic Sachet, right, is our kitchen coordinator / chef. They have both started 5 weeks ago, and everything we're hearing is 2.5. Everything we're hearing so far is very positive. Yes, last year. So let's start with our new center director. If you can tell us a little bit about your background and
I'm Maya Martin Burbank. Hello. I've worked for the senior concerns for about 16 years. Was in King City at Pacific Point and King City Senior Village for that time period. Worked with Meals on Wheels at the Titan Senior Center, driver and on their board. And then I also have been volunteering with the King City Lions Club and the King City Community Fund and the Red Cross and a bunch of local groups that support senior concerns in our area. So that's my.
And you've been here for approximately 2 weeks?
Yeah. I mean, almost to 3.
Almost to 3.
Yeah.
So, and Dominic, you've been here a little longer. So, where are you coming from?
Born and raised in Eugene.
What part? Eugene. Sorry. What part?
The right part.
What part?
Well, I know that Kristen is a Sheldon graduate. I'm South Eugene. Oh. We're sort of friends.
North Eugene.
Oh, that's way out
rival.
I have 30 years approximately of experience in the restaurant and hospitality industry. I got my associate's culinary degree from Lane Community College in Eugene, and my hotel restaurant management degree from UNLV in Las Vegas. And I've cooked all different styles of food. And whenever my least favorite question is, what's my favorite thing to cook? Because it's everything. And I'm happy to be here.
And he does cook everything all the time, and it's great.
Yeah. And I was talking to him today, because we've heard just great feedback from folks about the food and the diversity. And what did you make today? It sounds awesome. So
the sweet chili glazed salmon, brown basmati rice, and a cashew stir-fry vegetables.
An amazing soup and salad.
just a little something to put together.
And somehow stay on budget. That's great.
So far.
Yeah. So if I could jump in. So my mother-in-law just moved to Sherwood about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and so she loves it here so far, by the way. And so she stopped by the senior center on last Monday, and so she sent me a text, and it says, "Just had capital letters had to share this with both of you right away, my wife and I. At the senior center, I just had the most fabulous meal for only $4. And the picture doesn't even do justice to how incredible everything tasted. The salad even had a scoop of salmon salad on it. And at the end of the meal, the chef came out himself and served us all a slice of pumpkin pie. Can you imagine? And then she texted me a photo of the meal. So, bravo, doing a great job. You've got yourself a new best customer.
So Dominic, your presentation of the food is amazing. And not only does it taste good, but it looks good. You take the time to do the finishing touches. And from the Mother's Day luncheon that I attended, was it last Friday? My table, the table I was sitting at, they were just in awe of just the presentation of what you did.
And then they got to eat it.
Yeah, then they got to eat it. I have a question for you, Maya. What has been the most exciting aspect of your job so far?
Exciting, getting to know everybody, getting to know what they'd like to see in the future, what they love right now, and just kind of getting in there and hanging out with the people, honestly.
So Maya had a great idea when I met with her today. We're going to meet some of the people that graduated from Sherwood Citizens University, and she was asking, so where do you hold this? Because she'll be part of the presentation. And she's like, why don't you hold it at the senior center? There's no reason to have it at the police station or at City Hall.
Oh,
we need
no,
to bring
there's gonna be a
people
fight
into the
now.
senior center. And I thought that was a great idea. So we may do that in the fall as well. So other questions for?
I was just curious for Chef Dominic. Had you ever worked in a senior center type facility before, or what drew you to there, or are you?
I have not. This is my first facility like this. I've worked in all manner of restaurants and institutions and things like that. But this is fairly scaled back for me, which is great. And I'm really enjoying it.
But I assume you kind of get to do your own creativity, which is kind of nice. You're not stuck to a menu from somewhere else, kind of.
Yeah, or a particular style or anything.
Yeah.
I can cook anything I want with what I have available, which is kind of defines my career in terms of the different places I've been, where I have had menus to follow, but in terms of menus that I've designed or specials that I run or things like that, it's whatever I feel like making, using what I have, what's in season. That's my style of cooking.
Great, welcome.
And I have a quick question. On the, I got an email not too long ago about it had a menu on it. So is that something that's new, that's starting, and will you continue to put a menu out every week? Because it looks, I haven't been able to go to eat lunch yet, but I definitely want to. Just looking at the menu is amazing.
Yeah, we'll be posting the menu on Facebook every week and on the Marty Stewart website as connected
Great.
to the City of Sherwood website.
Good. Thank you so much. Great.
Thanks, guys. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to switch gears and allow Josh to introduce our another new person that just joined us. So
Yes. So Carly, if you want to come forward, please. So as Joe said, we like to introduce new employees within the first month or two. For legal interns, I like to introduce them the first day or two. So this is Carly's second day on the job. And I did not ask her to be prepared to say anything about herself, so she can do that or not if she wants. But she just
There will be
finished her
questions, so be prepared.
Just finished her first year at Lewis and Clark Law School, which is my alma mater, and did her undergrad at the University of Maryland, which is the other U of M.
Minnesota, Josh. University of
Michigan. Minnesota. It's the third U of M, right?
You know, no offense, we don't really care about those Midwestern. Kidding. Yes,
So,
the other M. Yes.
This is only your second day, but so far so good. And anything you want to say, Carly? Okay. Any questions for Carly?
Okay, so we have about 20, so we'll try to keep it to 10. Where do you grow up?
I grew up in Texas. Yeah.
And so how did you pick your undergrad, and then how did you pick Lewis and Clark?
Well, I thought it'd be neat to be near DC because back then I thought I wanted to do politics and things like that. And then for here, I thought you can't beat the weather, at least in the summertime, in Texas. So I like to call my mom in the morning and say, "Oh, I'm wearing a sweatshirt," and she's dying in her car without AC. So I was just trying to experience different cultures, and so far the people here are amazing. They're the nicest that I've met, so I like it. I think I want to stay.
So given the choice of going back to Maryland, Texas, or staying in Oregon, what does your gut tell you today?
Oregon.
Good call.
You're a winner. So, other questions?
So I have a quick one. So when you decided to pursue law, did you imagine you would end up here and looking at the government as a career path?
I think so. I really am interested in land use and natural resources, and I think that it's really cool. I love listening to that meeting earlier. So I think the government gives you a chance to kind of dabble in a lot of things, and so it seems like a great place to learn too, because I have no prior legal experience. So
Great, awesome.
How long will you be here?
Until August.
Were you
How long will you be here? Until August?
Yes.
Okay.
Were you a pre-law undergrad or?
No, I did environmental science.
Nice job.
You're never going to get off that table now.
We can talk later.
Other questions? Awesome. Welcome.
Thanks, Carly.
Anyone else to introduce?
Not tonight, sir.
Employees. All right. Joe, next recognition of Sherwood Citizen University Spring Edition.
Okay, so
Grads.
So a few folks are here tonight, but I think the nice weather probably made it difficult for everyone to make it. So if everyone that was in the class maybe can stand up, I'm going to read everyone's names and recognize everyone. Counselor Rosner, you need to stand. You're part of the class. So we just wrapped up a few weeks ago the fourth edition of Sherwood Citizens University. Once again, it was a very successful 7-week class. We've added a 7th week because we can't fit everything into 6 weeks. And I think I and the staff that participated in it once again really enjoyed the questions. The folks that go through this class really take it serious when you think about how many hours they dedicate of their own personal time to learn the ins and outs and the workings of how their local government operates. It's pretty amazing. So some of these folks, actually one, Lori Holm, who is here tonight, has already been appointed to the Planning Commission. So I think one of the goals of this program, among many, is to get people more educated and informed, and then also to serve on boards and commissions or in volunteer type positions. And that's playing out, actually. We're starting to see people serve their community and get on different boards and commissions. And then as I look across the council, Gaius, we have now another counselor who has gone through the program with Tim, and I think he had lots of good questions and learned a lot through the process. Sean Garland, you are an alum of the program,
Absolutely.
and Kim Young is also an alum of the program. So
Yeah, but I want to know what we missed because we
Right?
only got 6 weeks. Is there refunds?
You're more advanced.
You can sign up to do it again.
yes, you can always come back and do it again. So I just want to read the names of the citizens that went through the program, and if you want to ask these folks some questions
Well,
too.
we're
Mayor.
calling them up.
So the folks that participated: Ann Ivins, Barbara Leitzinger, Britton Stark, Karen Lutz, Lori Holm, Martin Rakers, Melanie Mildenberger, Mike Rogala, Scarlett Shoden, Shelley McGill, and Tim Rosner all finished the class recently. So
Awesome. Great. Now, other than Tim, does anyone want to say anything about the experience or feedback? You don't have to. I was kidding before.
I do have a question though.
If you do, come forward. You come up to the microphone so everyone can hear your question. But if you don't want to, that's okay too.
Come on up, have a seat with her. There's 2 chairs.
Lori's going, "Woo!"
Musical chairs.
Come on, Lori.
I'm Karen Lutz, and I've been a resident in Sherwood for over 13 years. And this is my first time attending a council meeting. And so the university was a great experience. It opens up it makes you more aware of how hard everyone works in the city of Sherwood, and the council members and everybody that volunteers so much of their time, and what a great community we live in. And so it was a great experience for me, and it does make me want to participate in some of the processes. So thank you, and thank Joe for how hard you worked putting it together.
Awesome.
My name is Britton Stark. I moved to Sherwood in December. My husband and I bought our first house here.
Wow.
And I took this class because I wanted to learn more about the community. I feel like as a new homeowner, I feel a lot like a millennial, like I'm really missing out on a lot of stuff. I'll just put that out there. You might be. So it was an amazing experience to listen to all the people in the community who have years and years of experience in their own fields and in the city of Sherwood, to really learn a lot from people who are more experienced and really care. One thing I was really impressed by is that every single person who came to talk to us was very passionate about what they do. And I think when you're looking at a governmental organization, that's an incredibly rare thing to find. And seeing those people talk and really engage with the community, it made me feel more interested and excited about being part of this community and learning more ways that I can be a part of the community. I think that there's a lot of things governments do to reach out to their citizens, and this one, I think, is an extremely powerful way to reach a lot of people. Everyone in my department at work lives in Sherwood, so when I went back to work, I was able to share a lot of the information that I learned that maybe they would never have known otherwise. So I will definitely recommend this to anybody else that I encounter in Sherwood who hasn't already done it. So thank you guys so much for making this a resource, a possibility, and letting everybody know about what you guys are doing, your oversight, and how we can be more involved.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You can just, it slides.
All right, can you hear me? Yeah.
No.
Get used to the cameras.
I know. That's right. I mean, I'm all for service, Sean, but having to sit up there, I don't know. So I know.
Yep.
My name is Lori Holm. I've been in Sherwood 2 years. I started volunteering in the community as president of the Sherwood Police Foundation, and so now I'm joining the Planning Commission, and, thank you, Joe, for the coffee.
We were going to eliminate coffee because no one drinks coffee in this class. And of course, the first night I didn't have coffee, and Lori and one other person said, "Where's the coffee? We need coffee."
So thank you, JoJo.
I have a question. Hey, Lori, as a fellow former planning commissioner, why planning commission? It's awfully boring.
No.
I'm just
Way to sell it.
I'm only kidding.
Oh my!
She hasn't even started yet.
I'm only kidding. Julia knows I'm kidding. I loved being on planning commission. I loved it. But why? And I loved it. I did it for 8 years, and I loved it. So why are you interested?
As a resident, as a mother of 2 young kids, and the school issue, and I spent the last 15 years in my career as a paralegal, so in the legal field. So I understand a lot of the quasi-judicial issues that go on with not necessarily land use, because I mainly try to keep executives out of jail. But it just seemed very interesting to me, and I felt that in this current kind of climate of social media and things like that, it's good to have people on the commission that actually, know what's going on or can understand and take emotion out of it and just
There you go.
do what's best for the
Great.
city in the right way.
You'll love it. It's fascinating. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's great staff to work with, and it's tons of fun. You'll love it.
And of course, her first application is likely the high school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a
Small little
short
project.
packet.
Trial by fire.
Thin.
Bring a sleeping
Couple
bag.
pages.
I'm just glad that my MBA program is over, because all that time I spent working on those classes and papers can now be focused on this.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
Welcome.
of the 7 weeks that you guys spent at Citizens University, what was your favorite part?
Oh no!
But
We
Now
know.
you're pitting.
No, I'm just curious.
Who's your favorite
yeah.
Kidding.
Who's the one that's sitting
Was
right?
Irma there?
Yes, yes, Irma was there.
That's kind of cheating, though. You bring the dog, that's kind of cheating.
From the
Oh, Mila.
Mila.
Mila was wonderful. It was wonderful meeting you. The social puppy that they got at the police department. But,
We need a planning puppy, Julia. Finance puppy.
Comfort dog
Said everybody's got puppies.
for budget commission.
I did take an interest in the finance and the budget committee aspect of it.
Awesome. Good.
Accounting and taxes. So that was one of the main one that I was interested in, because that's where my heart is and what I think, I can add the most value to as far as a citizen in the community.
So maybe
And we may have
future
some
budget committee.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, there will likely be some budget committee openings in the coming year, so
Right.
keep your eyes out. So
I was told it would be sometime in January.
What, new term? Yep.
There'll actually be 3 positions opening in November.
Katie would know.
Yep.
I really liked the presentation on economic development. It was something that I hadn't really thought of when I thought about planning a community. And I really liked how all the presentations, but this one in particular, compared Sherwood to surrounding communities and discussed how other communities were incentivizing businesses to come to their communities. And one part of the economic development that was something I'd never thought of before was producing things in that city to sell to other cities is a huge source of income for the city and for the residents who have jobs in that city, so they don't have to leave to go to other cities, as opposed to the retail jobs where people just go and spend money. It's not really actually creating money within that community. And that was one, I hope I explained that right.
Yep.
Okay. That was one thing that I took away that was kind of eye-opening for me when I think about economic development.
Britton, what's your career?
I'm a CPA.
Okay.
So I have a question. Did I
Told you there'd be questions.
did I jump ahead of
No, it's
someone?
been all right.
Yeah.
So of everything that you learned, what is the one thing that you would bring to another community member as an ambassador? Because that's basically what you guys are now, right? You're educated now. You are an ambassador for our city. What is one or two things that you learned that you feel most compelled to bring out to your fellow citizens?
No pressure.
In this day of social media, this day and age.
Well, I think everybody
Fake
should
news.
take this class, to be honest, because you get the truth and understanding of what's really going on.
Thank you, Lori. Yes.
So that's just me. But.
The one thing that I think that I didn't realize that Sherwood was such an open community as far as everything you're televising, all of your council meetings, and I don't know that all the other communities in Oregon do that. So that's one of the things that I would recommend in order to build trust with the citizens of the community is to, I think it's a very powerful tool to, to be open and let all of the citizens, be aware of everything that you do, and I think it would help more people get more involved in it. So.
I think the big thing that I'd want to communicate with other people as it comes up, not like preaching, is where money is coming from, where it's going to, and who owns what. Like, the YMCA is not owned by the YMCA, and I think that caused a lot of confusion. And the fields at the high school are actually maintained by Parks and Rec. Is that what it's called? Parks and Rec? Okay. And I think that our community has a lot of partnerships that aren't really, really clear who owns what and who's using what and who's doing what. So when decisions are made, I think it's really easy for people to misunderstand why things are happening when they don't understand the whole picture. And I think that that's really something that I'm going to take away and try and share with other people as it comes up. I might not have the right answer, but I think that having that baseline of, oh, well, maybe it's happening because of something else, having the knowledge to go and ask more questions, I think is really important.
You three need to be on the poster.
Yeah, doing great.
You guys are amazing.
So, Joe, when is the next session
So
planned?
that's a good segue. We do this twice a year now. We do it in the spring and in the fall. So we'll probably start accepting applications for a fall series in August.
And as we've got a younger crowd in the front row, is there a minimum age for the Citizens University?
We've had some high school students participate that have been great. It is
a couple
in the
budding politicians
evenings
there.
until 9
Until 9
o'clock.
o'clock, that's true. School
For
nights.
7 weeks
but,
of school nights.
Can,
So.
can we commission a merit badge for the class?
Sure, we can be creative. So, and I think our perspective from the staff is we'll continue to do this as long as people want to learn. So when it gets to a point when people aren't willing to sign up, then we'll find other things to do on a Thursday night for 7 weeks. So, but it was a great class, and I really appreciate you guys being put on the spot. I didn't tell you you'd be put on the spot, but you did a great job.
Ambassadors. Great ambassadors.
You can
you
throw
hit a lot
things
of the,
at them
you hit
later.
A lot of the right notes.
You guys know you're on TV as well, right?
Yeah, live stream on
You're on
YouTube
TV.
right now, actually.
I got to
so.
get used to it, right?
Yeah.
You have to
Exactly.
get used to it. So thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all for making this opportunity possible.
All right, so that's the last presentation. Now, moving on to new business. There were 35 things under new business, but we're going to do just one today. Resolution 2018-044, supporting the annexation of the area west of Elwert Road, north of Kruger Road, and south of Haiti Road, also known as the location for the proposed new Sherwood High School, into the Clean Water Service District boundaries. Julia.
Yeah, and this is going to be very straightforward and probably could have just been a consent agenda item, but I wanted you guys to have something to talk about publicly tonight. So, basically, as you know, the school district has already annexed into the city of Sherwood. They also need to annex into Clean Water Services District, and Clean Water Services requires a formal resolution from the city council that is going to be served by them, endorsing the annexation into the Clean Water Services District. If you approve this evening, the Clean Water Services annexation would be June 19th. So, and most likely we would, the land use application is already in and will be reviewed. We would probably condition that they have this before they can do certain things such as obtaining building permits, but it should be fairly closely in line with when the school project gets approved. It will just be a little bit after that. So with that, we recommend that you approve this resolution supporting the annexation of the high school property into the Clean Water Services District boundary.
Awesome. Just questions for Julia? Seeing none, discussion from council or action?
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2018-044, supporting the annexation of the area west of Elwert Road, north of Kruger Road, and south of Haiti Road, also known as the location of the proposed new Sherwood High School, into the Clean Water Services District boundaries.
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. Thank you, Julia. City manager report.
Mayor and Council, just two quick items. The second meeting of the Budget Committee will be this week in this room on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock. We had a good first meeting last week. The packet for the Budget Committee will be going out tomorrow, correct? And that will be put on the city website for the public if anyone wants to see the packet materials for Thursday night. So I wanted to remind everybody of that, and there's an opportunity to come during that meeting, at the beginning of the meeting, to provide any public comment to the Budget Committee as we continue to deliberate on next year's proposed budget. The other notice, and we will know this in the next few days, is you have your normal meeting scheduled in this room on June 5th. However, we may be doing a Planning Commission meeting in this room on June 5th. You both can't be in here at the same time. That would be a special meeting of the Planning Commission to do the new high school application. If everything goes well in the next couple of days, we're waiting on some information from Clean Water Services that if everything comes together, we're going to have that public hearing June 5th. And then on June 12th, you would meet in this room and have your normal first meeting in June a week later. So we'll know in the next couple days whether that's going to happen or not, but I wanted to let the public know that your first meeting in June may be a week later than normal. And that's when we have tentatively scheduled you to adopt the budget.
And Joe, if I can tag on to that, that is where there will be a public hearing for the budget. So once we do find out, if we do have it on the 12th, that's when the budget hearing will be. If we don't, the budget hearing will be on the 19th.
Correct.
So either the 12th or the 19th.
And we always like to have the budget hearing and the budget adoption earlier in June. If you have requests for additional information, it buys us time basically to have a second meeting in June. So I'm hoping that June 12th will be that date. Julia, do you have anything to add to that, or?
No, other than that it's looking more and more certain that we will have a June 5th Planning Commission meeting, so I would expect to have a June 12th City Council meeting. So.
Yeah.
That's all, unless there's questions for me and the department heads that are here tonight.
Looks like no questions. Got off easy. Awesome. Moving on, council announcements. Reverse order maybe. Councilor Rosner.
Sure.
Everything, it's okay.
No, I got a list here. So last Wednesday, the school board had a meeting that I was at, and it was actually a really fun meeting. I just want to pass along Superintendent Cordy spent quite a lot of time talking about the partnership with the City Council, thanked everybody on the City Council for over the last couple of months working with them and getting to a favorable outcome for them on the UGB expansion issue. But they seemed very excited about moving forward and working together into the future. The rest of the evening there was actually very entertaining. The Mixolydians came in and sang for everyone in the room. The Rose Festival was there. They won 3rd place in a competition, and with that award came a check to the school district that they presented. The Sherwood Education Foundation came and presented grants to the schools. Quite a bit of money was handed out. I don't know if people remember, but at the Sip and Spell, they raised over $50,000. So a lot of that money went to the different schools to fund programs that the teachers had submitted grants for. Another note, Steve, and I'm going to mispronounce his last name, but Steve Emmert, who runs Human Resources for the school district, won a Human Resources Leadership Award from the OSPA, which was a really nice honor for the school. Last thing I'll mention, it'll be the last time this year I mention it. I've mentioned it 3 times now, but the Old Engine Show was a great success. If anyone didn't make it down there on May 5th, I think it coincided with the opening of Saturday Market for the town, but it was a lot of fun. They had a really big turnout. It was a lot of conversation at the Main Street Board meeting about it and how happy they were and how well that worked. So they want to do it again next year. And one more thing on Main Street, the Main Street group, their public meeting is Thursday, 8 a.m. at the Rebecca Lodge. So if you have an interest in what's going on downtown with businesses and how that group supports our downtown area, feel free to attend. And that's all I have.
Councilor Griffin.
Let's see, last Monday, not yesterday, but last week, I attended the Parks Rec meeting, and we actually took a tour of the YMCA. This was a chance for the board members to tour the same tour that we did, and they did a great job again. And Ryan was there, the new director, and he's a great guy from Minnesota, who then moved to Texas, and now he's here, and they love it. They absolutely love it up here. Great guy. So we expect big things. So he'll be coming to those board meetings at the first of every month to kind of report and start that relationship between the city and the YMCA. So it was great. It was lots of fun. So let's see, the Sherwood Robin Hood Festival Association, their monthly meeting is this coming Thursday at 7. We'll be in budget. I already let them know we won't be there. But you can go to the website. They have really enhanced the website. Most of the information is out. They're starting to post the entertainment schedule. So if you want to know who's going to be on the stages on Friday, Saturday, you can check that out. They have the information on the International Archery Tournament is also there. Information on the parade. Last year, 20,000 people plus. And you can, if you want to be in the parade, just fill out an application. You can find all of that on their website. And they're looking for volunteers if you want. It's a free festival, but if you want to volunteer and go kind of behind the scenes and help out with some things, maybe drive a golf cart around, it's lots of fun. So that's coming up on the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd is the second day of the archery tournament. You mentioned the budget meeting on Thursday, so I think that's it.
Awesome. Councilor Browse?
All right, to second what Councilor Rosner said about the Old Engine Show, on opening day of Saturday Market, having the Old Engine Show there as well as Saturday Market, downtown Sherwood was hopping. It was so awesome to see, and it was pretty fabulous. And I know Jim Haynes, the late Jim Haynes, had a lot to do with that, so thank you to the Haynes family. I want to remind everybody that this coming Saturday is the Boots and Bling Stakeout Gala for Sherwood Police Foundation. It's not too late to get your tickets. There's 3 tables left, so you can still get your tickets and come join the fun. And all the money goes to the Sherwood Police Foundation to help support our men and women on the police department. A reminder that Saturday market is open, so you can come buy your fresh flowers, all your vegetables. They have the best strawberries at the one booth, my go-to place. I believe community service fair is this weekend too, right? So on Saturday, if there's not enough to do in town, community service fair is this coming Saturday, I believe 10 to 2. Okay, excellent. At TVFNR. So come on down for that. I want to announce some of the things going on at the library. We have, as noted earlier tonight, we have a new teen representative. Becky Mifflin is now joining the advisory committee. And so we're looking forward to working alongside Becky and seeing what kind of ideas she brings to the table for our young students. Summer reading program starts on June 1st, and it's for ages 0 to 100, so you're not too young and you're not too old to join in that program. Something new this year, all the youth get a second free book if they read 15 hours during the summer. So a great opportunity to get your kids reading. And also there is a free cultural pass at the library, so for regional destinations, including the popular Wings and Waves Water Park in McMinnville. So that's some fun things to do at our wonderful library. Let's see, Chamber of Commerce cruise-in is 3.5 weeks away, so downtown Sherwood will be filled with old cars and lots of people. There's still opportunity to volunteer if you would like to volunteer in the festivities. And Hit Machine will be that Saturday starting at 7 o'clock, I believe, so it's the last band of the night. And last but not least, at the Senior Center, we heard a little bit about the new staff there, but they are doing a bang-up job. There was an appreciation day a couple weeks ago. Mayor Mays and I went, and all the volunteers who help at the Senior Center, and it takes many to make things happen there, were celebrated and recognized. City staff were cooking and working in the kitchen. So it was a wonderful opportunity. And then they had a Mother's Day celebration last Friday, which was absolutely fabulous. The house was packed. Every single table was filled with women having a great time, and they had a wonderful band playing really interesting instruments. We'll just put it, very interesting things. Not the typical instruments, but I think they were called the Pickled Peppers, I think is the name of the band. But check them out because they were pretty fabulous, and that's all I have.
Awesome. Councilor Young?
I don't have too much. All my assignments happen to fall on Thursdays, which happens to be the 3 budget meetings. So I'm missing all my assignments this month. So Police Advisory Board is this Thursday. Community Development Block Grant was last Thursday. And then the last Thursday, the 24th, I believe it is the YMCA. But I'll have updates once I read the minutes of what's going on there. Renee already talked about the Police Foundation auction, but buy your tickets. This just isn't something you want to miss. This is really a fun night. And if you go to the Police Foundation Facebook page, you will see some of the items that they're going to have for auction. And it's just, they're doing a bang-up job at getting their donations in this year. I want to thank Lance at the Fieldhouse again for providing us a report. I really appreciate that he puts that in our packets once a month. And then coming up on May 31st, I will be attending, and I assume some other counselors, the Westside Economic Alliance breakfast. And the subject this month is talking issues with the Westside mayor. So most of the mayors will be there giving some updates on what's going on. And that's it.
Councilor Kramer?
Okay, sure. So I always like to announce this time of year that the Voices for the Performing Arts is having its spring show. So there's 8 choirs all in Sherwood, and 4 of them are show choirs. And they put out an incredible show, and they really are like a feeder organization to some of the amazing high school students that you see up on stage during the musicals in particular. A lot of those kids get their start through VPA when they're just really little. So it's a really amazing group. 2 shows this Thursday and Friday at 7 p.m. And then next weekend is a Wizard of Oz. So there's the Christian Youth Theater has its home at the Sherwood Center for the Arts, and they actually have 2 weekends. So next weekend and the weekend after, Wizard of Oz at 7 p.m. on Thursday and Friday, and then 2 p.m. are Saturdays. Friday and Saturdays at 7, and then 2 p.m. on Saturday for the matinee. I'm also the liaison and a to a great group of people and a great resource in Sherwood, and that's our Tualatin River National Wildlife Refuge. Big changes are coming to the refuge. There's going to be some really cool things happening. They're going to reintegrate the old channel of Chicken Creek coming up in the near future within the year. But this coming Saturday is their Wild Bird Festival. So if you've never been, you can build a birdhouse. There are lots of activities for families and kids. You can walk the old part of where the Chicken Creek will be going, probably for one of the few last times that you can do that. So that's pretty exciting, and I think that the bald eagles are probably still out and about. You could hopefully they'll be there. And then one other item, and that is May 31st. There is a open house that Washington County will have transportation here. Is it going to be here? Middleton. At Middleton, okay, and it starts at 6. It's an open house to talk about the Elwert roundabout that will be going in around the same time as the high school, and it'll be a pretty big deal, and it'll give the community a chance to comment on the design. I think they're at a 30% design right now, but a chance to comment and talk with the Washington County transportation engineers on that. And that's all I have.
Thanks. Council President?
I will be brief. So last Friday I was asked to speak at the Washington County Cooperative Library Services Art of the Story finale concert over at the Sherwood Center for the Arts. And then one other event that I attended this last Saturday a few days ago, also at the Sherwood Center for the Arts, was the Circus Luminescence. I attended that one as a father with my 2 daughters. The reason I bring up both of those events is the crowd in both of those events almost really exclusively non-Sherwood residents, and so it was a really great example of all these people coming to Sherwood because of our Center for the Arts, because of the programs that they put on, people getting to see how great our town is, how great our Center for the Arts is, and really introducing a lot of people to Sherwood. So I thought that was fantastic. The Circus Luminescence, if you guys ever get a chance to see them, they're a juggling entertainment circus act, hula hoops, LED, bowling pins, set to music, comedy. It was fantastic. Loved it. The only other thing I have to announce is I was invited to read a previous proclamation from our previous mayor, Weislogel, at the Hopkins Elementary School last Friday. They had an Arbor Day celebration there for some second graders at Hopkins Elementary. And so I was able to read the proclamation, and the kids planted about 100 trees in the kind of the swale behind the school there. And so thank you to Tammy Steffens and Kirsten Allen, our city staff who was in attendance. I think it was Trey from Public Works was there also helping out. The folks from AKS Engineering who helped with a lot of the trees. Who am I missing? I'm not sure if I'm missing. And the kids, there was one girl, I have never seen anybody so excited about trees in my entire life. She was bounding out of the school, coming down to there. She couldn't sit still. As Tammy and I were speaking, she was so excited to plant trees, and I've never seen anybody so excited to plant trees before. But Tammy and the folks from AKS Engineering did a great job explaining why trees are important, what they do. The kids were able to tell us why trees were important and why we need to be planting trees. So it was a really good experience. So and part of the Tree City USA, I'm sure was a part of. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Briefly cover what wasn't covered. Part of last week I was back in D.C. lobbying on our behalf along with other members of our region. A couple days meeting with different federal departments, agencies, as well as members of our congressional delegation to advocate a number of potential capital projects for us to pursue grants, as well as other type grants for either labor or planning and events. Very exciting. Our congressional delegation, our wonderful Congresswoman Bonamici, gave a lot of her time to us. Then Merkley and Wyden staff were great. I was able to visit with Wyden on the flight over, which they're kind of trapped on a plane, which is nice, I guess. Then the third day was part of the JPAC group. Most folks that was the kind of the anchor of the week to advocate for projects for the region. So you have members of TriMet, Metro, each county, as well as a lot of the cities. And for that mob, for lack of a better word, we just all park in a room, and congressional members from the House go through in the morning, and then go over to the Senate side and park in a place, and the senators come and visit. And then the second day with JPAC, which I didn't stay because I came back for our budget committee, they then go do the departments. They do Department of Transportation, and primarily to advocate for regional transportation projects of significance. And as a region, there was a lot of efforts to push for improvements on 205, improvements on I-5 by Wilsonville, improvements on I-5 towards the Rose Quarter, which are all desperately needed, along with 500 other things on the list, but those were big highlights. As part of that, was able to have good conversations with and reintroduce myself with some of our folks in our region, which was nice. And we're going to be now following up with members of our delegation and different departments to continue to vet out prospective things that we will advocate for, and then come back to council and kind of report on what we want to try to pursue for getting outside money. And outside money is always a good thing when we can get it and when it makes sense. So with that, anything to add that we forgot about? We will adjourn to a work session. Thank you, everyone.